decided, or I sort of ummed and ahed for quite some time, was to whether or not I actually wanted one. I mean, on the face of it, they do look like a really nice model. I appreciate some people have had issues with them, but you know, it's nice to sort of experience these things for yourself, or not, as the case may be. So Hattons at the moment are selling off some, what they're calling second hand, but I'm guessing that they're the ones that have been returned because of one thing or another, and they're selling them off. So there's a fair few, or there was a fair few listed at the point of this video anyway. So I decided that this one, or as for liveries, I looked at a Freightliner one of the same sort of age, sort of like the 5, sort of think it was 505 or 506. But I thought the EWS one has got sort of like the much larger area which it covers. I think Freightliners were probably not quite as prolific at that time within the country as what EWS are, especially in this livery. I wanted one that was sort of back in the real early days of EWS, so this one fitted quite nicely. May have possibly had a slightly lower number, but I think they were all delivered within fairly quick succession of each other, so I think this one was something like about 2000 or 2001, which is fine for my other layout. So I was quite happy with that. So I decided that, well, I couldn't wait to get this home, let's say. I sort of ordered it, and it seemed to take forever and the day to come. Didn't in reality, but you know, it's like when you're a kid with a new toy, you expect it there and then. So things arrived today. As I said, it is a noisy one, so the first thing I did was fired up the engine, because obviously everyone has gone on about the sound, and just, you know, mind-blowing sound that these things are. So here we go. I think from that short start up and shutdown, it's mind-blowingly clear that there's something not quite right with that speaker. It sounds horrendous, and I didn't mention that in the description. I think the only thing this one came up with as a fault was there was some glue on the bogies, because a lot of them have got like glue on the bodies, etc, etc. I would recommend reading the descriptions if you're thinking about getting one, but it just said, other than that, as far as I was aware, it was in excellent condition. And again, looking at it, I can't see, it does look to be in excellent condition, but that speaker is just not right. It's just so much like vibrations in there that it just spoils the sound. So I'm going to try and do something with that. So as Dave would say, I'm back in the office today. So plan now is to P4 this Hattons 66. I don't know whether or not that's actually been done or not. I haven't found any other videos online of anyone that's actually modified them to that extent, but whether or not that's just because I haven't found them, or whether or not it's been done, I really don't know. So we're going to give that a spin. One of the other things I've looked at, I'm just resting it on my desk, which isn't too unflat, and it's got it's probably difficult to see that, but that's rocking a good 2 mil. I mean, that's going to be sort of, if your track work's not spot on, that's also going to be an issue with going over point work and stuff, or over the tracks. It would help for the derailment, shall we say. Maybe not specifically give you derailments, but it's not ideal. I'm not bashing the 66, please don't think I am. You know, I don't want to just jump on the bandwagon where, you know, I bought a Hattons 66 and I'm just going to sort of rip it to shreds, because I'm not. But I'm just pointing out factual things. One, the speaker's no good. Now, that might not have come out of the factory like that. Of course, it is second hand, and, you know, we don't know what someone else has done to it. It's the same as this. I mean, it may not have come out of the factory like this. This is the thing about sort of buying second hand. I'm sure that if I contacted Hattons and sort of told them about the speaker, and also told them about the rock, they would probably be more than helpful, you know, as they always are, to try and sort things out for you. But I don't want them to say, "Oh, send it back to me and we'll have a look," because one, it shouldn't have been sent out like that. So I'm going to have a crack at it myself. Going to pay for it anyway, so I'm not overly fussed about the rock. Hopefully it's not going to be anything that can't be fixed. But yeah, that should, in all fairness, should sit. I shouldn't be able to rock it like that. It's not rocking on suspension, that's rocking on the wheels. That's actually contact on one side and contact on the other. And there is a good couple of mil there doing that. I mean, I could get one of my locos and you wouldn't get that much movement out of it. You wouldn't get any movement. It's it. All 12 wheels would all be hard on a bench and you wouldn't be getting any rocking like this. So, you know, that's just, as I said, it's not ideal. But let's stop bashing it. I mean, on the face of it, if you look at that is, you know, it is nice. I'll put it in where you can actually see it. You know, I'm sure that a fair few of you have got them anyway, so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is a nice model. I do like it. And it's probably not something, but I've sort of seen so many 66s. I mean, they're sort of part of our lives now, that I just felt that I needed one for my other layout. And the Hattons one, I think, was probably my choice. Although I must admit, I'd said to people, you know, if you want something to stand on the mantelpiece and look nice, or sit in a case and look nice, then the Hattons 66 is the one you buy all day and every day. If you want something that's just a bit more practical, that's going to go around the train set, then you're probably better off with the Bachmann one. But we'll see what we can do with this. See if we can make some improvements. See if we can get that to sit and flat without rocking. And probably going to take that EM2. I'm not a great fan of the EM2 speakers. I know people sort of like, you know, swear by them, but quite personally, I don't think they got as much range as some of the other smaller speakers that you can get these days. So I'll probably take that out and put something else in, and we'll see how we go, and go from there. But yeah, I mean, on the face of it, as I'm holding it now, it is a really nice loco. You know, like I said, I'm not going to send it back to Hattons and say it's rubbish and I want my money back. This I think this was 225 quid. So not cheap, but then I don't know what the noisy one is, brand new, probably 30 quid more than that perhaps, if you can get them. So yeah, I'm not displeased. I'm going to we'll start the disassembly process and see where we go from there. See what we can do. So to sum up then, there you go. So that's the Loco converted into P4, running across my track work quite happy. She's been virtually everywhere on the layout and I've not had any derailments. Obviously by allowing a little tiny bit more play on that centre axle is always a winner. That's true of Double O as well. Just to sort of make sure that all 12 wheels are planted on the rails and not trying to sort of wander somewhere else, because as soon as you start getting any sort of rocking, that's when that's when the derailments start. So sort of like you by allowing a little bit more compensation, it allows you a little bit in the track and a little bit in the Loco. I'm a strong believer in that the rotating axle boxes are more trouble than they're worth. I do appreciate that some people have elongated the bogies and bits and pieces in order to sort of give it a little bit more compensation. That's, possibly one way out of it. I think the other thing is, unless you get them actually true on the axles, then when they start rotating, they're sort of like going more oblong-y than they are round. And I think that can sometimes look worse. I think if there was a 7mm one, I'd say, fair play. And fair play to Hattons for sort of trying something. But I'm hoping that the 59, that the new Daypole 59 is going to have pretty much a similar sort of thing, because the first thing I should be doing on that is getting rid of the rotating axle boxes for the same reason, because I just think they're too much trouble. But if you don't agree with me, if you think I'm mad or anything else, then that's what the comments box is for. We're all entitled to our opinions, and I don't think I've seen anyone else actually get to the point where they've just said they're not going to have them. People have persevered and done stuff with them and actually got them working. I think some people have got them out of the box and there's been absolutely no problems whatsoever. I think probably it's a minority amount of Locos that have actually played up for whatever reason. It's not a widespread thing. But just for me personally, I just think that, I'm not, they're just not what I want. So get rid of them and I've got rid of a problem. But yeah, the Loco performs really well at low speeds, high speed, sounds good. I mean, I know I said earlier about the EMT speaker, didn't bring, I weren't sure about it. But one thing, it's certainly a throaty speaker. The bass echoes down through the track as well. So you can, not only just that, you can actually feel the bass balls vibrating. Just shows how powerful that speaker really is. And I think now it's in properly, it sounds a lot better than what it did. I think it was the fact that it just wasn't, it was just vibrating. Okay, so to sum up then, there she is on the main line, P4 and running, as you've just seen. Really nice cracking Loco. Things that I've done, as I said, the speaker issue was just that it wasn't fixed properly. There's two lugs that hold it, or there's two screws that hold the lugs on the speaker down. Neither of those two screws were there, so that speaker effectively was just like free and just sort of vibrating wherever it wanted to go. So that was just something, all I did was I just cut a couple of bits of electrical tape, one down the side of the speaker, and then just pushed that into the chassis, and that seemed to have held it really firmly and resolved that issue. The other thing I'd done was deleted the rotating axle boxes. So basically I've just pulled them off, shortened them down so they don't touch the ends of the axles anymore, and glued them in solid. I think for me personally, that is the best thing. If you don't agree, that's what the comments box is for. I think if you had a 7mm model, then it would be almost a necessity to have rotating axle boxes. But on a 4mm model, as far as I'm concerned anyway, the rotating axle boxes just don't bring anything to the party. Fair play for Hattons for going down that road. I'm hoping Daypole 59 has got very much the same sort of like, I can very much do the same, because the first thing I should be doing today is getting rid of rotating axle boxes. I do understand that there are people that have well, I think I'm probably the only one that I know of that's actually just got rid of them per se. I know of people that sort of like slotted the bogies out just a little tiny bit to just to give you a bit more compensation on them, and other people have sort of spent quite a lot of time fiddling around and getting them right. As again, you could have been lucky enough just to have got one out of the box that ran perfectly well. Another one of the issues that I foresee was that unless those axle boxes were dead true on the axles, instead of going round, they sort of end up going oblong-y. And if you see that, I think that'll look worse than not going round at all. That's another reason why I wanted shot of them. Plus, with converting it to P4, I couldn't use the old axles or the original axle, so I'd had to have sort of possibly had new axles manufactured to allow for, so as I could plug them back on, if you like. So it's just all more hassle than what it's worth. But as for do they convert? Yes, they do convert. So you could convert one to EM or P4 really easily. As I said, I do recommend just taking the shim out of the centre, out of the bogie on the centre axle, just to give yourself a little bit more space. But apart from that, the Loco's a winner. Really, really nice. And yeah, I think if they do the Shanksy one, the Freightliner Shanks one, the one that was, I think, the two-tone Freightliner one, the original two-tone Freightliner one, I'd certainly have one of those. But and I suspect they will probably do that at some point. If I had to mark the Loco out of 10, I suppose from an innovation point of view, take your hat off to Hattons. I suppose that's got to go for 8 out of 10. The Loco itself is probably another 8 out of 10. So yeah, it is a nice Loco. I'm sure if I went through, I could probably find faults. But to me, it looks like a 66. It runs well. It's got that air of grace about her. So yeah, I'm totally happy. So yep. And it does also prove that they can be rescaled quite easily. Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.